Good evening, my excellent biology students. Hope you are doing fine, and I hope you had a wonderful day. So please let me know if I am audible enough. Let me know if I'm audible enough before we begin with this live class. All right, it's been a while. I went live-ish. You can even for this, eh? Tell me if I'm audible enough. This is our first live class, and my former students are in the comment section. As always, wanting to make noise. Don't disturb my class, you former students. Otherwise, please let me know if I am audible enough, and tell me if what is on your screen is clear. All right. Good evening, Destiny. Good evening, Mary Rose. Good evening, Impo. Good evening, Sandra. Good evening, Naomi. We've got new names in the Bill. We've got new names in the Bill. It's going to be an interesting journey. So let me just check in the group if there's anyone who is having issues with the link. Because we have to ensure that everyone is here. Okay. All right. I think we can start. Shall we start? Tingayambe manjai. I think we can start. Let me see. So please let me know if I'm still audible, because on my end I can't hear myself. Okay, I can now hear myself. Okay, wonderful. So I hope everything is clear in terms of what is appearing on my screen. Please, if you're having any issues, let me know, because I can read the comments. So let me know if you're having any issues. Let me know. I am going to attend to you as my new students. So, introduction to biology is the first topic that we have to look at. Okay, introduction to biology is the first topic, which is going to introduce the subject. So there are a lot of topics that we're going to cover in this course of biology, and all I require from you is your consistency and dedication, because those are the things that are going to help you clear your exams next year. So it may seem as if the exam is far, but trust me, ni pafupi maningi, ni pafupi hapa. July ni pafupi maningi. So ensure that you do not relax, and just do your best. So if you receive an assignment, make sure that you submit. So these are the topics we're going to look at. Living organisms, there's nutrition, there are a lot of topics that we're going to cover. So it's going to be a beautiful journey. All right. So first question, I hope you watched the tutorial video which was sent in the morning, part 1. Okay, I hope you watched it. So I'll pose a question. What is biology? That's the first question that we have to answer. What is biology? So let me even remove, because I can see that someone saw there. What is biology, my excellent students? What is biology? I'm reading the comments. Okay. So from Mary Rose, biology, it is the study of living things. Okay. Naomi, biology is the study of living things, organisms. Mary, the study of living organisms. Limpo, the study of living things. Frida, biology is the study of living things. Sandra, biology is the study of living things. Annie, this is the study of living organisms. Esther, biology is the study of living things. Miss Helen, biology is the study of living things. All right, so we're all saying the same thing. We are all saying the same thing, of which that is very true. When we're learning biology, we're trying to understand living things. Biology is the study of living things. So, yeah, biology is defined as the study of living things, which are organisms. So, you, my excellent student, you are an organism. Okay? Ngati kuseri kuli chimtengo cha magwava, that tree, it is also a living organism. Okay, so biology simply focuses on living organisms. As an organism, me being an organism, how am I able to survive? What sustains my life? What processes help me survive as a living organism? Biology explains all those things. Okay, otherwise, biology is the study of living things. Now, you need to note that there are also non living things that exist in our environment. For example, water. Water is a non living thing. Rocks, those are non living things. Cars, those are non living things. Okay. So there are features that are going to differentiate living things from non living things. Okay. There are features, or in other words, characteristics that are going to differentiate non-living things from non-living things. But before we go into the features or the characteristics, you need to understand that there are several branches of biology. Okay, so biology has got different kind of branches. Sir, you didn't mention my name. Oh, Karen. I've now mentioned it. Okay, did you even define biology, Karen? Zingala Sivandi. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. Peace Mwitumwa. Peace Mwitumwa. Karen, I didn't mention. I've even remembered. Karen, you're an ex. So, biology has got different branches. Okay, there are several branches of biology, such as botany. Okay, botany is the study of plants. Zoology is the study of animals. Ecology is the study of interactions of organisms with each other and their non-living environment. And today, I was teaching ecology. I was teaching my grade 12s ecology. Yeah, so ecology is the study of interactions of organisms with each other with their non-living environment. Then biochemistry, it is the study of chemical reactions that occur in living organisms. And then entomology is the study of insects. Okay, but throughout the course of biology, you learn most about plants as well as animals. These are the two living organisms that are usually focused on when it comes to syllabus O. Okay, otherwise, botany is the study of plants, zoology is the study of animals. So these are some of the branches that you need to be aware of as excellent biology students. Okay, so now remember, I said that there are living things as well as non-living things. Now, there are some features or characteristics that are going to differentiate living organisms from non-living organisms. And you need to be aware of that. Okay. Needs to be aware of that. This leads us to the characteristics of living organisms. These are just features that will differentiate living organisms from non-living organisms. So before I show you the features, what are the features or characteristics of living things? What are the features or characteristics of living things? What are the features or characteristics of living things? I'm reading your comments. So Mary Rose, movement, okay. Betsheba, growth, okay, excellent. Others, what are you saying? Zingala, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Zingala or Jingala. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay, so Jingala, movements without external help, has the ability to grow. Okay. Tinta, movement, growth, reproduction. Naomi, excretion, growth, movement. Helen, movement and growth. Sandra, movement, growth, reproduction and excretion. Peace, movement. Sender, breathing. Karen, growth and movement. Mary, movement, respiration, growth, excretion, reproduction. Excellent. So those are the features or characteristics that living organisms have, which non-living organisms don't have. Okay. So in other words, those are the features or characteristics that are going to differentiate living organisms from non-living organisms. So if you look at living organisms have got the ability to move. Okay. You and I, we have the ability to move, to locomote. So what is movement? Movement is simply a process by which a living organism changes its location and posture without external help. So you won't need external help for you to move. When it comes to a plastic will move as a result of wind. So it is receiving external help from the wind, which enables it to move. But for you and I, we are able to move on our own because we've got a mind and we've got a skeleton which helps us to move. Okay. So the movement of an entire organism from one place to another is also called locomotion. So locomotion is the movement of an entire organism. Now there's a difference. There's movement and locomotion. What you need to know, my excellent student, is that all all locomotion is movement. All locomotion is movement, but not all movement is locomotion. What does that mean? Right now I am seated. If I stand up, I go to another place. I have changed my location. The entire body has moved. In that case, that is locomotion because the entire body has moved. Okay, that becomes locomotion. But if I am at one place, but part of my body is moving, that is not locomotion. That's just movement. So all locomotion is movement, but not all movement is locomotion. Keep that in mind. We're going to talk about locomotion later on. Another characteristic of living organisms is respiration, of which respiration is the release of energy from food substances inside living cells. It is simply a process by which living organisms obtain food. Okay. So you and I, we need energy. So sorry, it is simply a process by which living organisms obtain energy, not food. Okay. So respiration is the process that provides your body with energy. You need energy to carry out different activities like walking, talking, sitting down. Right now your eyes are open because you've got energy. You're able to talk because you've got energy. Different processes taking place in your body, they're taking place because you've got energy. Energy is needed, or it is a requirement for different things that are taking place inside your body. So respiration is simply the release of energy from the food that you're eating inside living cells. There are two types of respiration. We've got aerobic and anaerobic. We'll go into more details when we look at respiration. But for now, know that respiration, it is also a characteristic of living organisms. We also have growth. Growth is another characteristic of living organisms. So growth is simply a permanent increase in what? Mass, size, number of cells, and complexity of an organism. 10 years before now, some of you, your height wasn't the one you have. You have grown. A lot of things has changed on your body. You have increased. The number of cells have increased. If you cut your hair, give it 2 weeks, it will start growing again. How is that possible? Because the number of cells are doing what? Increasing. Now, growth is permanent. It is the permanent increase in what? Size, mass, number of cells. So your height, the one you have right now, it can never go down. It will just be like that. It is permanent. Okay? Growth is a permanent thing. And then another characteristic is reproduction. Reproduction is simply a process by which living organisms produce their young ones. Production is a process by which living organisms produce their young ones. One of the most important characteristic of living organisms, reproduction, because this ensures longevity of a species. Imagine if there was no reproduction. That simply means human beings would cease to exist. So we need to reproduce as human beings. Actually, we were even commanded by God, go and multiply. So reproduction is very, very much important to preserve a species. Okay, so all living organisms have got the ability to reproduce, to create something that is of the same kind. Okay, and when it comes to reproduction, there are two types of reproduction. We've got sexual as well as asexual reproduction. Another feature is excretion. So excretion, it is simply the removal of toxic metabolic wastes from the cells of the body, such as urea, excess salts, excess water, bile pigments, and carbon dioxide. Okay. So this body that you have, it needs to ensure that the internal environment is kept clean. The internal environment has to be clean. And that is made possible because of this process. If toxic substances are not removed from your body, that will lead to diseases. Therefore, there is a need to maintain that internal environment. There is need to maintain a clean internal environment. So waste materials are removed. Waste materials like what? Urea. Waste materials like what? Excess salts and excess water, as well as bile pigments. These are known as excretory products, the things that are removed out of your body. Right now, you're breathing out carbon dioxide because it is not needed in your body. Okay. And then there's another characteristic, which is feeding or nutrition. Okay, feeding or nutrition. So this is a process by which living organisms obtain food. So hapa I'm sure wenango mukalibo kudya na tempa mulinayo. You know, there are people when they are hungry, ish subo yamba baza che 1-2 na time ya salako. Why? Because wana njala. So we need food, isn't it? Now, how do we obtain food? For us human beings, we're going to get that food, we'll put it in our mouth, we'll chew it, we'll swallow it. Then it will go into the stomach. In the stomach, digestion continues. So this process of getting that food, putting it into your mouth is nutrition. Okay, nutrition. To be specific, holozoic nutrition. That's the one that animals like you and I carry out, holozoic nutrition. So nutrition or feeding is simply a process by which living organisms obtain food. So imwapo ngati mkudya nsima lero, you're going to get that nshima, you make your ntongo mzatowera nofaka mukama. That is nutrition. You are obtaining food. For plants, for them they don't do that. Even my plants pika kansima, no tapika kansima. For them, they make their own food. That's how they obtain food, by making it. using sunlight energy in the process of photosynthesis. We're going to learn about all this that I'm talking about in details later on. Otherwise, nutrition is a process by which living organisms obtain food. So, are we following? Are we following? Vimveka. Vimveka vetkamba papa. Gift atoke, what am I doing here? Mnapasa kudala yemwe. Limpo. Muli number 3. What are you doing here? That I had to eat before the live. Otherwise, are we clear? Thank you very much, Limpo. I'm glad that I'm a good teacher. Yay. All right. Okay. Clear. All right. Now, let's look at the last characteristic of living organisms, which is irritability or sensitivity. Irritability or sensitivity. So, irritability or sensitivity is the ability to detect and respond to stimuli. A stimulus is any change in the environment which causes a response from an organism. So, you as a living organism, you've got the ability to sense your environment. Whereby you're walking in the night and then you will sense, isn't it? Because you've got sense organs. You've got the skin, you've got eyes, you've got the tongue, you've got the nose, you've got ears. These are sense organs. They're helping you detect what is around. And whatever is around is referred to as stimuli. For example, noise is stimuli, which is detected by ears, which are sense organs. Chemicals in food, that is a stimuli, detected by the tongue, which is a sense organ. Are you following? Your skin is a sense organ responsible for detecting temperature, temperature being a stimuli. So you've got the ability to sense your environment. You've got the ability to tell what is happening in the environment. You're blessed with that ability. And that ability is referred to as irritability or sensitivity. So what is irritability or sensitivity? It is simply the ability to detect and respond to stimuli. So if I call out your name, you're going to respond because you've heard me calling your name. Right now, you're able to see because there's light. So your eyes are detecting light, which is helping you form an image. Able to tell that it is chilly today. Oh, why? Because you've got the skin. Able to taste that this food contains a lot of salt or it contains sugar. Why? Because you've got the tongue. So the things that you are detecting, noise, temperature, chemicals in food, chemicals in air, they are referred to as stimuli. And the organs responsible for detecting those things, they are referred to as sense organs. I hope we're following. Then cells. Living organisms are made up of cells. We have cells. And what is a cell? Cells are basic functional units of living organisms. Okay. Some organisms are made up of single cells like bacteria. Okay. And then such organisms are called unicellular cells. So organisms that are made up of one cell, they are called unicellular cells. I mean unicellular organisms, sorry. So unicellular organisms are simply organisms made up of one cell. Then organisms that are made up of more than one cell are known as multicellular organisms. Like you and I, we are multicellular organisms because we are made up of more than one organism. So far, so good. Are we following? Phileomphika, Matilda, Nondo. Phileomphika. Then there's another Matilda, Lupupa. Gift. Yeah? You are failing to go. You are failing to move on. So my new students, some of these comments you're seeing, they're coming from my former students. And all they passed, but I don't know what they are doing here. Easton Kapira. I hope I am pronouncing your names correctly. Please ensure that you let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Okay, now let's look at the last part and then we can call it a day. Metabolism or metabolic reactions. So we've talked about the features or the characteristics that differentiate living organisms from non-living organisms, right? Those are the features. So if you look at a car cannot reproduce, a car cannot excrete, a car cannot detect like temperature, yeah, it has got those sensors vya mafagamo, but it cannot, it doesn't have the ability to detect ngati waita na moto benz ngati it can't do that. You get? So rocks, they cannot reproduce, rocks cannot grow, rocks cannot move, rocks, they cannot have they cannot perform these characteristics that we've talked about. So these characteristics are only performed or carried out by living organisms. Okay, so now let's talk about metabolic reactions or metabolism. Metabolic reactions or metabolism. So what are metabolic reactions? So metabolic reactions are simply a sum total of chemical reactions that take place inside living cells. All the reactions taking place in a living organism are referred to as metabolic reactions. Okay, a collection of all the reactions taking place in the body of a living organism. They are referred to as metabolic reactions. Okay, now there are two types of metabolic reactions. There are two types. Namely, we've got anabolic and catabolic reactions. These are the two types of metabolic reactions: anabolic and catabolic. Anabolic reactions are metabolic reactions where large and complex molecules are synthesized from small and simple molecules. That's anabolic. So, for anabolic, if you want to remember what it is, I want you to use this example. Look at the house. What do you use to build a house? You use blocks. So, those blocks can be referred to as small molecules, small and simple molecules. They'll be combined together. Those small molecules are going to be combined together to form the entire house, which is now a big or complex molecule. So, building of the house, anabolic reaction. Building of the house, anabolic reaction, because small blocks are being combined to form a building, which is a house, which is now a complex molecule. So, if you want to remember, you can use that example. Building a house, anabolic reaction. So under anabolic reaction, we're saying that a complex molecule is being synthesized. To synthesize simply means to make or to manufacture. So we're saying that a complex molecule is being made, it's being manufactured from small and simple molecules. And examples of anabolic reactions that we have is photosynthesis, where we are seeing water and what? Carbon dioxide being combined to form glucose. Okay, glucose being a complex molecule, it's a big molecule. Okay, we've got protein synthesis, which is the manufacturing of proteins, where we've got protein synthesis, which is the manufacturing of proteins. So if you look at proteins, they are made up of lipids. I mean amino acids, sorry, amino acids. So amino acids will be combined to form what? Proteins. Okay, and we've got another example of an anabolic reaction, which is fats, the synthesizing of fats. So I hope we're clear on anabolic reactions. We're seeing that complex molecules are being synthesized from simple molecules. For catabolic reactions, it's just the opposite. Catabolic reactions are metabolic reactions where large complex molecules are broken down to simpler molecules, e.g., respiration and digestion. So under catabolic, we can say breaking down of the house. The house is being broken down to the simple units that formed it. That's catabolic reaction. So we're saying that a complex molecule is being broken down to simpler molecules. Example is respiration, where we are seeing glucose, which is a complex molecule, being broken down into simpler molecules. Okay, as well as digestion. That's another example. So all metabolic reactions are catalyzed by enzymes. So an enzyme is involved in all metabolic reactions that I have mentioned. So an enzyme is simply a biological catalyst. Okay, Catalyst is anything that speeds up the rate of a reaction. So what enzymes do is that they speed up processes which are metabolic reactions. They speed up reactions. So they'll speed up the building of a complex molecule. They'll speed up the breaking down of a complex molecule. Remember, the building of a complex molecule is done under the process of anabolic reactions. Then the breaking down, catabolic reactions. All right, my excellent biology students, we're going to end here for tonight. I hope everything is clear. Is everything clear? Is everything clear? Jogema. Is it correct? Jogema. Jogema gospel singers. Ha. We have gospel singers in the building. You should sing for me. You should send me your songs. You should send me your songs. Easton, clear, wonderful. I'm glad. Miss Helen, very clear, sir. Okay. I hope we are clear. I hope we are clear. Mary, clear, sir. Mary Rose, clear. Sandra, clear. Annie, clear. Betsheba, clear. I'm glad that you've understood. Mary, Naomi, clear. Matilda, clear. Wonderful. I'm glad that you've understood, my excellent excellent biology students. So tomorrow we continue. We'll be having live classes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 20 hours. So for tonight, we're going to end here. Yeah. If at all there are no questions, I think we can call it a day. So yeah, have a good night. Good night, my excellent biology students. Ensure that you pray before you sleep. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. So I've just seen a question. I was about to go, then I saw it. So what is complexity? So complexity is something that is complicated, like it's complex, it's big, and it cannot be easily understood. I don't know if you get it. Like, it's complex, it's big. Okay. I hope I've answered your question, Tinta. So complexity is just something that is big and it cannot be easily understood, in other words. So it's complex. Have I answered your question? I hope she's still here though. So yeah, that's complexity. I think I will send a text in the group to just answer her from there. Okay, I think I can now call it a day.